Imagine waking up one morning, pulling back your curtains, and instead of the blazing golden disk of the sun, you see a flashlight. Just one enormous flashlight, floating in the same place where the sun used to be. It's pointing directly at Earth, glowing steadily like a cosmic nightlight. You might think, hey, maybe it's not so bad. At least I won't need sunscreen anymore. Well, give it a minute. Let's start with brightness. The sun produces about 3.8 times 10 to the 26th watts of power. That's a 3 followed by 26 zeros. The world's most powerful handheld flashlight? Around 100 watts. Even if we gathered every flashlight ever made, billions of them, the total light would still be laughably small compared to what the real sun does every second. So, step 1, it gets dark, very dark. Even if the flashlight beam were aimed perfectly at Earth, we'd barely notice it against the black of space. The beam might illuminate a small patch of atmosphere, maybe enough to read a book under it if you were floating right in front of it. But the rest of the planet? Eternal night. And cold. The sun doesn't just give us light, it gives us warmth. Take away that energy and our planet starts losing heat fast. Within a week, the global average temperature drops below freezing. Oceans begin to crust over. Within a year, Earth's surface would be locked under thick sheets of ice, and the only warmth left would come from volcanoes and the faint internal heat of the planet itself. The only surviving creatures might be those living deep under the ocean near hydrothermal vents. Bacteria, some blind fish, and maybe a few optimistic scientists in submarines. But okay, maybe we're being unfair. What if this flashlight isn't just big? It's really big, like the size of the actual sun. Could we just build a flashlight that powerful? The short answer, no. The long answer, not even close. If we somehow made a flashlight that produced the same amount of energy as the sun, it would become the sun. The light bulb would instantly vaporize itself. Its batteries would explode with more force than all the nukes on Earth combined. And congratulations, you've just invented a new star. Even if we ignored the physics and magically made a flashlight that could shine forever without overheating, there's another problem: the beam. Flashlights send light in a narrow cone, but sunlight spreads evenly in all directions. So only a small slice of Earth would ever be illuminated. That means half the planet would be in permanent darkness, while the lucky side would be stuck under a single blinding spotlight. Imagine one half of the Earth constantly glowing like a stage, and the other half completely frozen solid. Not exactly ideal living conditions. And speaking of batteries, how big would they need to be? Let's be generous and say your flashlight runs on energy-dense lithium batteries. To match the sun's power output, you'd need about 10 to the power of 38 laptop batteries. That's a trillion of them. And they'd all run out in less than a second. So you'd have to recharge it almost constantly using, what, solar panels? Oops. Let's say we somehow solved all that. Unlimited power, infinite battery life, perfect aim. There's still the issue of the flashlight's color. The sun's light is a full spectrum: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. A flashlight gives off a much narrower band, usually bluish or white. Plants depend on specific wavelengths to photosynthesize. Without them, photosynthesis would slow, then stop. Within weeks, the world's crops would die, forests would wither, oxygen levels would drop. The flashlight sun might keep your room lit, but it wouldn't keep you alive. Eventually, the oceans would freeze solid. The atmosphere would condense into liquid nitrogen puddles, and Earth would turn into a cold, quiet marble drifting through space, dimly lit by our pathetic cosmic torch. So, replacing the sun with a flashlight? Probably not humanity's brightest idea. Still, there's something kind of poetic about it. We always think of the sun as this unstoppable, eternal source of light. But it's really just a massive nuclear engine burning out over billions of years. Our flashlight, weak and silly as it seems, is a miniature version of that, our little human imitation of the stars. Maybe, in some distant future, when we've learned to control fusion and move between galaxies, we'll carry our own flashlights, artificial suns lighting new worlds. Until then, though, let's keep our real one, batteries not included.